I'm Victor, directora from Spain. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. It's so special. Congrats to Elio. Are you nervous?
Oh my gosh.
A little nervous, excited. Yeah.
It's like our little boy is leaving.
I'm excited.
The house.
I'm stoked. Yeah, I'm excited for people to finally watch this movie.
Yeah.
Elio explores a unique perspective on first contact with aliens. What inspired the story, and how did the idea evolve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at Pixar, the ideas come from the director, and Adrian Molina was the first director on this. So you started with a what-if question, and he asked, what if this weird 11-year-old accidentally got abducted and was mistaken as the leader of Earth? And Adrian himself, his dad was a military dentist, so he set it on an Air Force base. But then I think when Maddie and Domee came on, they added their own take on Elio.
Yeah, I think for us, what really excited us about Elio as a character is a little boy who wants to be abducted by aliens so badly. Like, how does a character even get to that point? What is happening for him on Earth that makes him feel this way? And what will change him when he goes to space? So that was always a tentpole moment, a tentpole scene when he is abducted by aliens and jumping for joy. And we kind of built the story around that. Like, how did we get here and where are we going? So that was, I think, something really inspiring to both of us.
Yeah.
Every Pixar film has an emotional journey. What's Elio's?
Yeah, I think he goes from feeling like an alien on Earth, a lonely kid who can't connect with anyone, to by the end of the movie, he does feel connected with Earth, with his aunt Olga, with the people around him, and he goes from being isolated to being connected. And I think that journey, I think, is something that a lot of us went through when we were his age. I know for me, when I was like a kid, I definitely felt like the weird kid in class, the only kid in class that liked anime at the time. And every day I dreamed of being able to apply to animation school so I could go to a place where everyone understood me and accepted me and understood all my references. And that's definitely how Elio feels in the beginning. But when you do leave home and you do go on this journey, you start to miss things about home too. And as you're kind of like meeting different people, you're like building these tools and skills in order to be able to make friends, and you do like grow up and you do eventually feel this connection with the people around you.
What were of the biggest creative or technical challenges to bring in Elio to life?
Yeah, I mean, on the creative side, this is like a tale as old as time here at Pixar, but we hold our stories to really high standards. So I don't know if you know the way that we make movies here, but we screen the movie to ourselves many, many times before we are satisfied with the story. So I think over 8 times we watch the movie and assess it and judge it and then tear it apart and rewrite it and do it again. And it's an intense process, but I love that we don't stop until we feel it sing. So I think it was a challenge, but it paid off. Yeah.
Mary Alice, as the producer, how did you manage the collaboration between the department to maintain a unified vision to Elio?
Yeah, in this film, we were lucky. We actually had a lot of the departments collaborating together in one room just down the hall from here. And because we had a new tool called Luna, it allowed us to see renders more quickly. And so it would be great. You could have the director of photography in the room with the set supervisor, with the lighting supervisor. Domee and Maddie can be looking at shots. So I think this film was one of the most collaborative experiences we've had with all these different departments. And them being able to be in the same room and talk just makes it a lot simpler.
How did your previous work at Pixar influence your direction on Elio?
Yeah, this is my second feature film that I directed. The first time I'm co-directing with a partner. But I had previously directed Turning Red and then the short film Bow. And this was a really fun new challenge because I've never directed a science fiction story before. But I felt like, every movie, even though it's different, it all starts with the character. It all starts with story, with trying to get you to feel and understand a character as they go on a journey. That's kind of the basis of all of our stories. So the same one for Elio. Like when I jumped on with Maddie, it was like, how do we empathize and understand with this strange little boy? How do we watch him grow in a satisfying and entertaining way. And what does this movie say about the, greater world? Like what is that like bigger theme that we're trying to kind of explore with this story? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I started in the story department like Domee. I story supervised, and I also directed a short. And I feel like I was able to bring like not just the creative side, but also I think a little bit of the organizational skill, where there are certain things that you need to kind of know what you're asking people to do for you. I know how much effort I'm asking from this individual contributor, and I know, whether it's going to be worth it. If it's worth it, I will ask for it, and if not, maybe we can find another more creative way to get something done. And I think that ended up, I think it ended up making the experience feel a little bit more like there was a back and forth. I didn't feel so on my own to figure things out. Yeah.
And Mary Alice, how did the production process for Elio compare to other Pixar projects you've worked on?
Well, like Maddie and Domee said, we're always rewriting to the end, so it's always quite churny. I would say on this movie, again, one thing, the technical team was just so amazing, and we were able to make some big changes at the end, which I think really benefited the film. It was really satisfying. But yeah, I think tight deadlines, it's always a little tricky. So it certainly was on this one.
Can you describe a moment in the film's development that was especially meaningful or transformation for you in Elio?
I can't think of like one specific moment, but I always loved our edit session. So when we finish storyboarding a section of the movie, we're sitting in edit, we're watching it like on the screen there, we're cutting music, sound effects, dialogue together. Me, Maddie, Mary Alice, we're in the room, we're like watching it, and like we're like, trying to make it work. We're like cutting scenes, moving them. We're like going to the Cintiq and we're like drawing new boards to add. It's a very like collaborative, messy process, but it like when you put it all together and you watch it and it works, it's a very satisfying like feeling of like, oh my God, we made something together in this sweaty small room.
Yeah.
So those are my favorite moments. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think for me there was a moment of when we found this quote from Carl Sagan, who was this revered scientist here about, he's sort of posing a question to someone who was interviewing him about how the great human question is, are we alone? And once we found that quote, we experimented with actually layering it into the film and letting that be the question that Elio is asking himself at the beginning of the movie. And I loved having that as a marker of how would he answer this question at the beginning and how will he answer it at the end? That was, I think, really pivotal for our storytelling.
And for you?
There's so many, but I think one of the most fun parts about working with Domee and Maddie is that they surprise you. And I think, like, of course, a space movie, like they were talking about, you've seen the abducted scene 1,000,000 times and you're ready to make it great. And then they pose the question, what if he's really excited? And you just laugh and then you do it. And there's so many moments in the film like that where they pitch a crazy idea and you're like, let's go for it. And I think those are some of my favorites in the movie.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to see Elio.
Oh my God.
Great to meet you.